Hey, this is Jessica Crenshaw. Once again, we are coming to you live here on Poetry Worldwide. We've got an exciting show for you guys. You guys keep responding to us, and we are going to keep presenting the poets from all around the world, all around the country. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who helped us get top honors on Twitter. So that was a first for us. A lot of firsts because of you all. So we always want to stop and say thank you for believing in us. And we also want to say thank you to WYTV7, Christian Broadcasters Network. Once again, I'll say it every single show. We want to thank this network for taking a chance on us, seeing the dream, the vision that poets do have a voice and we deserve to be heard. So today we're coming straight out of Memphis. So we are highlighting Memphis yet again. I'm trying to get as many local poets out in my home city as possible. So we got a good poetry fan base here. We got a great poets, and we want to let the world know that when you think about poetry, you need to be thinking about Memphis, be talking about Memphis. So without further ado, we have Miss Alexicie Campbell here on the show today. Hey, how you doing, Miss Campbell?
Great. How are y'all?
Hey, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. So we're already feeling the vibe and the energy. And seriously, when you sent me some of your work, I was blown away. So I really like yeah, now we might have some real talk on the show, guys. So I'm just letting you know now, just so you don't be shocked and appalled. But she definitely has some deep work. So we really appreciate you wanting to share that with us and wanting to be on the show today. So just with every guest, I love to see where their poetic journey started. So what prompted you to start writing? How did that start?
Well, I've always wrote poetry, and I used to write songs when I was little. I've been doing that since I was about 9 years old. But, I've actually, the reason why I really did it back then and the reason why I still do it now is because I want to have that peace. When I'm, having self-expression, writing, singing, doing whatever I'm doing, I'm getting peace to myself. And I feel like I'm also giving that to others who hear that and have their own emotions and their feelings. And, they might be fed up with something, they're validated with that. And so when I'm writing it and I'm doing this, I'm helping myself, but I'm also helping them as well. I'm trying to give that shalom. I'm trying to give that peace to them and to me at the same time.
All right. Well, that's almost like a saying we have. So poets say the things that you wish you could say. It'd be like,
Exactly.
so like they're whispering. I'm so glad you said something because I wasn't gonna say it.
Right.
But I've always said that that's one of our callings is to be that voice for the voiceless, is to let people know, like whether it be society, religion, politics, whatever, we let people know what's going on. So that's definitely a great thing that you're taking up that torch and you're moving us right on along. So that's great. Now, when I observe your work, I hear a lot about self-expression and healing. You even said it, along with the first question. So, to you, how important is self-expression in terms of healing oneself?
Self-expression, when you're getting to know yourself through self-expression, you're learning what makes you feel good, what doesn't make you feel good. When you get to know yourself, you're also getting to know your creator. And that's the beautiful part about it. The more you know yourself, the more you know about how the creator made you and what gifts he has given you. And that's so beautiful because everybody has gifts and everybody has strengths. You just have to tap into that to see that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, definitely, I would say that that's probably one of the most searched terms is like, how do I find my purpose? How do I find my goal?
Right.
What's one way that you tapped into it, or if we have someone, watching on the show, how can, just a regular person begin that journey of tapping into their gifts and their talents?
What I would say is to find out some things that you do like and find out what you don't like and then just talk to your creator, because a lot of that comes out through lamenting. A lot of things that I realized about myself that I was good at was through, the crying, through the questioning, why is this happening? Why is that happening? And that's when the God has gifted creativity to me. He has gifted, instead of, taking this out in a harsh manner, instead of, yelling or doing something like that, you want to put it into something productive. You want to put it into exercise. Maybe you're good at dancing. You want to put it into writing. Maybe you're good at writing stories. You want to put it into singing. Maybe you can only sing good when you're going through something. You never know that until you feel that. So you're going to have that lesson that's going to be rough, and you're going to have suffering, but it's meaning in that. And that's when you really find out what your gifts are.
Definitely. So that's whoa. We'll have to take that back. That was definitely some deep waters we were just in. But yeah, that's I think a couple of people are going to have to put that part of what you said on repeat and really just kind of get into that and digest that. So that's definitely a beautiful thought. Now I've listened to some of your I call them Facebook CDs, like some of the music that you release over Facebook. You guys have got to find this lady on Facebook and listen to it. But I noticed that you're very, very passionate about a lot of things. So let the audience know what causes you're passionate in and why.
My main passion is this disconnect of relationships between men and women, and between families, and between racial reconciliation. These wrong relationships that, have been, terminated, or they've been corrupted by sin. And it saddens me to see that. But also I want to bring awareness to that, because I know a lot of people probably doesn't really look at that as being something that we need to reconcile, but I think that we do. And I'm very passionate about, coming together, embracing each other's different races, different hairstyles, different genders, just coming together and finding our gifts together. And, that's where I really believe where our hope lies, is coming together, being united, not being separated, not hating, not having any of that hatred in our hearts, because it shows by what we say. I think the saying is the mouth speaks out of the abundance of the heart. And, and I'm tired of hearing that hate. I don't want to hear that passionate of coming together. What can bring us all together where we need to be?
Yeah. And I feel what you're saying. Most of the time I find myself asking, what other than tragedy can bring us together? So you kind of notice that cause and effect, like, something happens and then all of a sudden we start to realize that tragic event made us all human in that one instant. And it's like, as we start to heal and forget, then we forget that we are all human until another tragedy happens. So it's just, I feel what you're saying. So it's almost like we need to start building on the front end, so we don't have that lack on the back end. I definitely agree with you on that. Now you were speaking about these different issues and matters of the heart. So I'm definitely with you on that. Now, what advice, because you're speaking to the world essentially, so what advice would you give as having other outlets to control your emotions? So I think emotion is really a big thing. You have the heat of passion and stuff like that. People get caught up. So what are some other things that people can use to control that?
I would suggest exercise would be the first thing. We want to make sure that your whole being is healthy, your soul, your mind, your body. We want to make sure that you're exercising. When you're exercising, I want you to do mindfulness as well, which is, you're kind of taking yourself out of the world. You kind of take yourself out of your own mind, leaving those negative, toxic thoughts behind, and just focusing on you and your creator. That's the whole point of mindfulness, and it really helps you. Another outlet I would say would be painting, because I also paint, I sing, and just kind of dib and dab in different things, to really find what's going to help you be productive. When you have that anger, when you have that sadness, you need to put it into a different outlet to be positive. Because just like when you're eating rotten food, you have rotten thoughts, the hormones of that stress it toxifies, it destroys your body. And so we need to practice the art of gratitude. We need to find other outlets. We need to get rid of those negative thoughts, those negative actions. We need to get rid of that fighting. If you want to fight, you need to go to the gym. You need to really release that energy, try to get that hatred out.
Definitely, man. So guys, if you're just tuning in, we are on the air with Miss Alexicie Campbell. She is a very, very passionate poet out of Memphis, one of many Memphis poets that you will see this show highlighting. So we definitely want to take care of our own first, make sure we eat first, but we're going to highlight everybody. But, she was just giving us some great advice on how to use different methods of controlling your emotions, to bring yourself down to a calm, stable level. So we're just having a great conversation here on the show. Now, we're getting to the portion of the show where we call it, I love to call it the soul section of our interview. So we're just going to ask you a couple of things about how poetry is connected to to the divine, to the God side of you, and just let people hear your thoughts on that. So when it comes to your art, how do you see God's glory connected to your poetry?
First, I see it because God has allowed me to even breathe the air. So he has given me an opportunity each day to use those gifts that he has given me. And it's just a blessing to see how we can tap into the gifts and use it for the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? God, in all of my work, you're going to see these beautiful, as at the same time, harsh realities. And that's just something I'm just trying to bring out awareness about who the creator is. I think a lot of us, we have problems when, they think that, it's all going to be easy. It's going to be a breeze, but it's not going to be like that. And God shows us who we really need, which is him. And I think you can kind of see that through my singing. The reason why I'm so passionate about it is because God has given me this opportunity to breathe, to let this message out. I feel like every moment that he gives me is a time for me to try to reconcile something. It's a time to help somebody else. It's not necessarily going to be all about you. It's not necessarily going to be all about what you want to do, but what has God put you on this earth to do?
Definitely. And as you were saying, there's a question I'm really, really curious about. Just as in terms of what God has brought you from, as you don't have to get too deep into your background, but as far as like what God has brought you from, how do you feel that that's affected your art? How has that shaped and molded your art? Moving forward in your journey.
It has made my art stronger. I mean, from, like I said, I grew up basically in Detroit. So I've seen a lot of things, I've seen homelessness. I've seen domestic abuse. I've seen, the harsh realities of living in inner cities like Memphis before. And without that, I would be nowhere as passionate or as loving or as, committed and dedicated to the cause like I am. I mean, all those lessons, all the pain, all the heartache just builds you up for what you are supposed to do. You're going to have those scars, but those scars are going to help you to do what you need to do. So, sometimes we need to thank God. Thank you for that lesson. Thank you for that pain. Thank you for that heartache that I had to go through to learn this lesson. And the wise man and wise women will learn from other people's mistakes. That's what I have learned on the way, is to learn from other people's mistakes. That way you won't make the same mistake.
Definitely. So hey guys, that's some wise advice for all of our hard-headed listeners out there. So definitely, you will learn better. You will learn quicker. You'll grow older a lot. I'll just say a lot slower by learning lessons through other people. I think that's a lesson that I can share with you as well. I typically try to look at what people have went through and looked at the outcome and be like, well, I don't like that outcome. So let me not do that. So
Exactly.
let me do the opposite of what just happened. So I definitely feel what you're saying on that. And we on the show, we always like to have the poet, speak directly to the listener. So So you have the opportunity to speak to the world, to those people who might be going through something that you just went through, might have went through and overcome. So what type of words of encouragement, of hope, would you give our listeners today?
Don't necessarily focus on yourself. Yes, you're in suffering. Yes, you're in pain. But a lot of times, God shows you how you can help others to bring yourself out of that and to help that person out of the hole that they're in as well. You have to find meaning and learn that lesson. Sometimes people think that it's a demon or that it's the devil trying to get in the way and ruin your life. But sometimes it's God showing you that you need him. Is he's trying to pull you back into his home and his heart. He's knocking on your heart, and you just have to let him in. Because the definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting a different outcome. You have to learn your lesson. Otherwise, God's going to keep knocking on that door until you get the lesson. So until you do that, he's always going to be there. We serve a loving God. He's the God of second chances, third chances, fourth chances. He always is giving you chances. You just have to open your eyes to see, how can I help this person? Because by doing that is going to bring me closer to my creator.
Definitely. So, man, that information is going to have me just kind of thinking about it and pondering about it. So you're definitely doing your job as a poet. You're touching one person, thought provoking, and I know our audience is really going to love to really bear down and get those nuggets of truth. So if you could describe your poetry in a few words, what would that be?
Real, loving, and holy.
All right. So once again, you have Ms. Campbell's poetry summed up in a nutshell. We hope we have piqued your interest, so you can take a look, get into the artist, and definitely see what she's all about. I mean, have you started performing at any venues where people can see you?
I performed in Michigan because I moved here maybe about 5 years ago, and I'm actually trying to start back up to performing in Memphis. So yeah, I have performed in places like the Access Coffee House and Ann Arbor, Michigan before. I haven't performed here yet, but I'm ready to do it, and I'm ready to really start put my poetry out there in Memphis. And like I said, I already have music out. I'm working on a music video coming this summer. And so I'm really trying to reach the Memphis audience now.
Okay. What I mean, if you knew of some places, what's your typical place where you would perform poetry? Like where's a poetry spot where you could just really feel that vibe and really go into your deepest part of poetry?
It would probably be some underground places. There would probably be a place like I have done it before at libraries. I've done it even outside before, anywhere where there's people and they're ready to listen and they're ready to share that experience and that essence, then I'm down.
All right. Well, hey, Memphis, worldwide, wherever a poetry hangout is with that type of underground neo soul vibe, you have a poet right here, right there. You have a poet right there. So she is ready. She's ready for the world. She is ready to get that message out there. So let me. We're gonna. We're starting to wrap up the show. So I mean, we've had a really good conversation about different issues. So I want people to have that opportunity to connect with you, to let them know how to get into the art form, or maybe even you could mentor somebody on how to get started on their journey. So what are your social media connections? So how can people connect with you through that medium?
On Facebook, I have a Lexae, Lexae entertainment page, and I also have a Lexae Tatum, which is just my new kind of format that I'm using for poetry, and with Lexae Entertainment on Facebook. On Instagram, they can follow me. I believe it's Lexae _entertainment. on YouTube. I've just done my new channel, and so I've started back up, and so it's from fresh, and it has some new music and new poetry on there. And that's also just put in Lexae, Lexae, and you can follow me there.
All right. Well, hey, guys, you have no excuse. So, I mean, she's got smoke signal, Twitter, Facebook, Morse code, everything. So anything you need, any way you connect with people through your tablet, through your phone, or the computer devices, I mean, she has you. So once again, we've been speaking with Miss Campbell, you know, just a beautiful soul out here doing poetry. She's about to get into the Memphis scene, y'all. So please watch out for that. She ready, as you can see. She's definitely
Yeah.
ready. Yes, ma'am. But as we close the show, we do want to take a little bit of time to recognize God and His glory, and
Yes.
definitely we're coming up upon Easter, so we definitely want to take time to realize the sacrifice that He's done. So, to any audience member, any viewer, if you even accidentally watching us today, we want to lead you in the salvation prayer. If you don't have Christ in your life, it's just a very simple prayer. And you can start like this: Lord Jesus, I repent of my sins, come into my life, I make you my Lord and Savior. And with that prayer, we definitely believe here on Poetry Worldwide that you've been born again. Once you say that prayer, please get into a good Bible believing based church and put God first in every single area of your life. I can testify. You can see Miss Lexi is gonna testify that He will take you to places that you never even dreamed of. So we do want to say thank you once again to WYTV7 Christian Broadcasters Network for having two crazy poets on the microphone. So that's always a good spot. For believing in the goal, believing in the dream that poets do have a voice. So we are looking for interviews. So if you're ready to be heard, let us know. So once again, this is Poetry Worldwide, where poets have a voice. Are you ready to be heard? Have a good day.